so many times during the sort of length of my career off of Nickelodeon, they were like, okay, here's the thing. Here's the next step. The next step is this particular
Right.
thing.
And you're like, I don't want that ladder.
Yeah, I don't want that's someone that's a great ladder for somebody, but it's not for me.
Right.
And then so like I've been constantly forging my own thing now, doing like shows with filmmakers I really respect. Now Apocalypse, or even if it's within the same realm of, you know, light fare that I've done before, I always want to be the weirdest character in the movie. I don't, I know it's why I play so many like ridiculous characters. Is because I just the idea of just sort of simply showing up and being the charming guy it just drains me way more than when I'm not. If my skill set isn't being used, I feel drained.
Is that other person like entirely divorced from who you are?
No, no. It's I think
still
it's
you.
it's a version of me, and it's probably it's a less honest version of me, but it's mostly psychological armor. I think we all have psychological armor at a certain point, and there's like a charm offensive that's a lot easier to do than necessarily than to actually to do this.
Right.
But to be
Because
the
is
charm offensive is making it easier for others as well. You're protecting yourself.
At a certain point, it's a people pleasing thing too, right?
Yeah.
It's like at a certain point you're just like, yeah, this will get us through this engagement in
Right.
the least offensive way to either of us.
Right.
I
So
mean,
how
I
have you
think
had to
you're-
go through all of this selling of this movie? And there's got to be a certain amount of that where you're like, I'm going to put on my charming armor, or do you just not do that? And you're like, it is who I am. I'm ADHD. I'm a little oppositional. I'm smart, and I made a movie. Do you like the movie? Fuck you if
It's
you don't
both,
like the movie.
but also I like fucking with it. Like there's this thing I did, this like thirst trap post where I was like, it was some sort of garbage thirst trap thing that I did. You do for the algorithm, and then you stop it and you go like, is this how we promote things now? You know, it is all intense for me, but what I'm finding more and more is the kind of the joy in the intensity of it all. I did a show with Greg Araki called Now Apocalypse, which you mentioned earlier, and Henry Rollins was on it, who's like a punk rock hero of mine.
Black Flag.
Angry dude, right? Like career angry. Like that's what he, and he's like the nicest guy in the world. And I think over time he found the joy in being upset or being passionate. And I think that I'm trying to re-find that. I think I had that joy at some point, and I think I'd sort of like got lost in this lost in the sort of like the fog of making a film, but like getting back into returning to that sort of joy of being passionate and that passion doesn't have to be angry. It can be excitement. And that's what that's my actual state, I think, more than anything else, is like the anger is passion with no place to put it.
I got to think about that. Anger is passion with no place to put it.
As soon as you put it somewhere, it's excitement. Just like being nervous and being scared and nervous is just excitement misplaced. Like, you're conscious, you're excited about the wrong thing. You're excited to fail. That's nervousness. If you're excited to do the job, then now you're excited and it's not nerves. I think about like stage a lot. Like when you get stage fright before you go on, it's like, what am I'm anticipating the performance. But if I concentrate on failure, then now it's nervous. Now I'm nervous. Now I have anxiety. And that excitement, that energy is, I think it's not very different. It's just a subtle way of reinterpreting that thing. And I think that I've somewhere along the lines, my excitement has sort of like veered into being angry, because there's lots to be angry about, but I'd like to return to being excited.
You are really a fascinating breath of fresh air. I want to talk about relationships more, because I feel like it's the one thing that you admit that you're not 100% sure about, and I don't give any shit about the specifics of it, but does human connection as important to you as sort of artistic integrity or finding a place to put your passion?
Yeah, I've realized how much I can come up short in that regard. And I think that my the thing that always constantly seems to haunt me, or is I'm always trying to figure out. I'm very self-critical, and I think I like to think of myself as self-critical in a way that's hopefully positive. If I see that as a flaw or like a shortcoming,
Uh-huh.
my ability to balance as it comes to relationships and this thing that we're talking about, whatever this is, integrity is maybe not the right word, but like something, this desire to get this thing, whatever this thing is, out there, and to make, or just to make stuff, and mean it, to balance that with not even just another life, but just people in your life, and it doesn't have to be even romantic relationships, even with friends, like
Oh
being
yeah.
able to, like, I'd love to be the guy who will remember to text you or send you that letter.
It's not you.
Nobody in my friend group will say that I'm that guy.
But you do have friends who've stuck by you through all of this.
And by the way, no, I think I'm a very good friend, but I just have there's an emotion. I think there's an emotional, there's out of sight, out of mind to a certain degree. And when I'm with my friends, I'm very present with them, but I think I could do a better job of maintenance. I'm not good at maintenance in any capacity. Like
No, I get that. I'm just wondering how do you see that playing out in 10 years, 20 years?
Yeah, I
Constant
don't know.
following of passion, artistic output, but like, do you become like a almost tragically lonely figure because
Yeah.
you're isolated by your passion?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing, right? That's the thing that we all, when you're younger, it's like it's the never-ending rotation of friends and new people that you'll meet. And as we all know, as you get older, that the great joke is that that revolving door gets slower and slower
Yeah.
of new people in your life. Keeping your heart open and allowing yourself to be taken by someone, and also being able to just be like, yeah, just to balance. I mean, balance is it, right? And we don't, none of us have it. And also, like, what's helped a lot of the time is somebody who's also interested in the same thing.